Joshua Filler shoots with a long bridge, a firm grip, and a short backswing about yay big. Now, if you took those three elements to a pool instructor, very likely they're gonna try to fix you, because a long bridge is gonna kill your tip accuracy, a firm grip is gonna steer the tip, and then a short backswing is gonna prevent any natural power into the cue ball. And yet, Filler is one of the best players alive, probably the best. So I mean, what's going on here? Is he just so talented that he just wins in spite of unorthodox mechanics? I suppose you could say Efren did it. Or maybe, is it the case that every single one of those mistakes is actually covering for another, and it is a system of moving parts that works for him? And once you realize how it all fits together, it might work for you too. So let's start with the bridge, because it's the thing that sets everything else up. It is long. He's not the only one with a long bridge, but it is uncommonly long. And like I said, the knock on a long bridge is tip accuracy. The further your bridge hand is away from the cue ball, the more any wobble that shows up in your stroke is going to affect the tip. It's all amplified. So a short bridge means small errors, and a long bridge means big errors. So then why does the best player on the planet go the other way? Let's look what he gets for it. With a long bridge, his grip is sitting further back on his cue, and the joint of the cue is basically in front of his face when he's down on the shot. He's sliding down the entire length of that shaft like a rifle. Even his closed bridge doesn't obstruct sighting like a shorter bridge does. And so his view of the shot becomes cleaner than most other players. Part of that is a preference thing, but I really think this is part of the reason why he does this. And something I want you to check me on, because I really can't find any real information on this. But in my experience, a longer bridge changes how the cue feels in your hand. More space between the tip and the bridge would mean that there's more vibration from the hit getting to your grip, right? It's not cut off from the bridge closer to the cue tip. Now, maybe I'm making it up, and maybe I'm just wrong on the why, but it feels like there's a there. So all my physics people, comments, go. So the bridge buys him some sighting and some feel. That does cost him some tip accuracy, I'll admit. That said, he's freaking Joshua Filler. I mean, he's gonna hit the ball so accurately anyway. Does it really make a difference? And my view is, yes, it does make a difference, and he makes up for it mostly due to his stroke length, and I will get into that later. But first, let's talk about the grip, because Filler's grip at the moment of impact, I mean, he holds it firm. Not like white knuckling death grip firm, but firm. Everything tightens up as he hits the ball. He's not one of those guys like me who throws their cue or has a really loose, supple grip and wrist. He locks his grip and his wrist when he strikes the cue ball. I can really only think of one reason for this. Gripping the cue like that gives you a good amount of feedback from the hit. More vibration feels like it transfers to your hand. It reaches those nerve endings and they light up, and it makes you feel the shot a little bit more. It's more stimulating, more physical. So it gives you the confidence that you are really getting into the ball. And that, paired with the long bridge, may give you the sharpest read on what's happening at cue ball contact, which you might not get with a shorter bridge or a really loose grip, especially guys like me who throw their cue. There's a reason I love so much feedback from my cue. It's just because I'm not actually holding it at contact most of the time. Think about this comparison. A race car driver with a super loose suspension, that driver's not going to feel the car underneath him. So those inputs, he just doesn't know how to respond to the road because there's nothing giving him feedback there. He wants a tighter suspension. So in the same way, I feel like a pool player wants that feedback from the cue, and a tighter grip might just give you more feedback. Now, most instructors are going to tell you to have a loose, supple, what's that? The baby bird grip, right? It lets the cue swing smoothly through the ball, and it reduces your chance of steering the tip. But here's the thing. Filler doesn't rely on a long, smooth, flowy stroke. Filler's stroke is short. It's compact. He doesn't ever bring the cue tip back to his bridge hand, almost ever. And so his backswing is only a few inches. That's it. Now this is where it all starts working together, because remember, that long bridge gives up tip accuracy. So what's the easiest way to get it back? Shorter stroke. Because less motion means less room for error. And most players have a shorter bridge than Filler has, but they also have a longer stroke. Filler flips that. Longer bridge, shorter stroke. And it's exactly what buys back that tip accuracy that is lost from the long bridge. Meanwhile, he keeps those sighting benefits that I mentioned. So then the question becomes, what do you lose with a shorter swing? The answer is obviously power, but Filler adapts for that power in a few ways. Firstly, he changes the length of the stroke to match the speed of the shot, which is something we should all be doing anyway. If you play a soft shot and you are still pulling your cue all the way like 10 inches back, shorten that puppy and you will be shocked at how much easier it is to control while still feeling like you're getting into the ball. Softer shots require smaller backswing, firmer shots require more of a backswing. Universally makes sense, and Filler follows that rule. It's just that Filler's range of motion is compressed more than other players. Like, one element of his stroke that doesn't really get talked about enough is his elbow drop. Yes, Filler has an elbow drop. I mean, it is subtle, but it's there. Now, some pros like Federer really collapse their shoulder and their elbow when they get through the ball pretty dramatically, and that keeps the cue level as they strike the ball. Filler does like a baby version of that. And it makes it this nice balance of efficient movement with consistent movement. It's got less moving parts, but he still is able to get his hand underneath his body if he needs to. That's just a lot harder to do if your elbow stays high the entire stroke. Now, there is one caveat to having a shorter stroke, and I haven't mentioned it yet. You see, Filler trains and competes with polished balls, all clean or all new cloth, all the time. You tell me you haven't overstroked a ball a mile because you misread the speed of new conditions. In other words, Filler doesn't need a lot of cue speed most of the time because the conditions he plays on doesn't call for it. And that actually brings me to my last and arguably most important reason for all of this. Joshua Filler's play style tends to avoid playing routes with the cue ball that don't follow the tangent line or involve a natural rolling cue ball. So given a choice, he likes to choose the shot that keeps his cue tip near the center of the cue ball, which improves tip accuracy even more, leaning into how all these mechanical elements work together. He loves playing one rail shape, where a lot of other players might try to be spinning the cue ball around the table towards the next shot line. He is very often choosing a more speed sensitive shot. And that's not random preference. It all fits together. Now think about it. He's striking the cue ball with a compact controlled hit at medium speeds. Really accurate, really consistent. And those kinds of center ball hits means that your arm speed translates really cleanly into the speed of the cue ball. Let me explain it differently. If you strike the cue ball more towards the edge of the ball, your arm speed, your swing speed, translates more into the spin of the cue ball and not just directly into the speed. And there's more of this unknown, hard to control spin factor that really gets amplified and more difficult on newer conditions. And so Filler generally avoids overspinning the cue ball because it is more reliable to predict the speed and reaction off of newly clothed rails. This, by the way, only makes his shot making more elite. It means he gets a feel for playing stun shots with more pinpoint shape than maybe other players would. Now, this isn't new stuff. This is exactly how snooker players play shape. Center ball hits, one rail stun shape, and speed dialed in. But honestly, the best part of this entire play style is just that it feels good, right? Hitting the ball like you mean it with a firm grip, sharp, compact stroke, heavy feeling on the cue ball because you're striking your center. It's just satisfying and fun. And that confidence that you feel in your arm, in your grip hand, that is the difference between playing at the bottom of your range and the top of your range. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore a shorter bridge or a looser grip or a longer, flowier stroke, but I am saying experiment. And if you ever have tried playing like this, long bridge, firm grip, short stroke, I'm super curious to know how it went. Please go ahead and drop it in the comments. And while you're there, type in dead punch and I'll give you a shout. If you found this video useful, check out the links below for deals on all kinds of stuff that makes you better pool players. Like, subscribe, share, and I will see you in the next one. Happy shooting.